why I hate patriarchy and not men specifically is because there's a whole lot of people in the patriarchy that create so much violence and leave women like this dead. Because it was not just a man who took her life. It was his mama and daddy and sister enabling this murderer. It was the police officer. By the way, one of them has been accused of DV himself. I'm gonna go into a whole thing. The police will get their own video. But this one is about an enmeshed family and perhaps a toxic boy mom. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not blaming this woman losing her life on another woman, okay? Let's get clear here. But whenever women get mad at me for talking about women who enable men, and they're like, no, it's men. Let's just castrate all men. Really? I don't want to be on a planet with the women who have enabled men, who have internalized patriarchy and who hate themselves and other women as much as men do. Because women, especially my people, white women, uphold patriarchy maybe more than any group. I don't know. We are the closest to the powerful people who get away with everything. And the way that Brian was able to even take his own life to avoid any accountability, as all narcissists do. That would have never happened if that man was not white. The way the police just let the family hide him. And then he just went camping. Okay, so anyway, I could make many videos on this, and I probably will, because this story that she was with a hobosexual. This man was a hobosexual. And I swear to God, every single thing in her story and that he did to her, I could boop, 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 boop. It just hit all the boxes. Every single one of them. The details might look different, but I swear to God, if I had known how this plays out across the board with these kind of dudes, I may have avoided it, or I may have gotten out earlier. So I'll probably make several videos about this tragic case. And you know what else? Her parents are an example of how you can use a tragedy to help heal other people. How you can turn your pain into something good. Because the stuff that family's been doing, I don't know, her parents, they'll probably get their own video. This is about his family. These people. Again, I don't know what her story is. She could be in an abusive relationship with him. I don't know, But all I do know is that she was definitely enmeshed with this son of hers, and the whole family, the sister, the dad, the mom, they all did everything they could to protect this man from experiencing any consequences. And in doing so, Gabby's dead. And her parents could have had peace a long time ago if they had not been like that. This man may have had some consequence. Nope. They literally covered for this man every step of the way. Let's talk about how much. This is also a reminder that if you are ever dating a man, and I know as much as we talk about 4B and stuff, women are never going to stop dating men entirely. Nor do I necessarily think that everyone should, but I really want you, if you date men, you need to pay attention to a lot of things. One of them is their relationship with mommy and daddy, but mommy, because the way a mother-in-law will make your life hell if she is enmeshed with her son, which is why all these toxic boy moms who go on the internet and literally proclaim that they love their sons more. There's just something about a baby boy. I love my daughters, but I haven't decentered men, and I'm so indoctrinated in patriarchy that I'm obsessed with my son just because of his private parts. And if she's really sick and twisted, she will actually be a little, if not a lot, because that's also a thing. Maybe it's just emotional Enmeshment, but like the way that the family described that she was so jealous of her daughter-in-law. If you find yourself being jealous of your daughter-in-law, you need to seek help. That is emotional Enmeshment. Sorry, as an Enmeshment survivor myself, I am telling you that at least mine is talked about more. But the way toxic boy moms have been normalized to just with their full chest be like, I love my son more, because it's just something about it. That's patriarchy and patriarchal indoctrination. And maybe maybe some of your own history with something in your own family. And that cycle of violence is continuing. If you love your son more than your daughter and always have, and bail him out and treat him differently and will do anything to protect him, even literally cover for his, you have so much decentering of men to do. This patriarchy is literally rotting you. And yet women a lot of times on my page want to focus on men. Yeah, they're killing us, right? They have a lot, you know what I mean? But this is, patriarchy is a whole system. And these men would have not been able to get away with it as long as they have if we too hadn't been indoctrinated into participating in it, partly because of our survival, because we didn't have access to money and blah, blah, blah. But we have work to do. We have to decenter our men, our sons, our brothers, our dads, our guy friends, our husbands, our boyfriends, whoever. Because any person who has been abused by a woman knows exactly how dangerous women can be. And any person who's been abused by a man, for instance, and a woman covered for that man, or multiple women covered for that man, don't tell me that men are the only problem. It's a whole system. And it's not an individual thing, it's a systemic thing. King Baby could not keep ruling with his iron fist or baby fist without the help of a whole lot of women and then a whole society that's also going to protect him. I just want to get real clear here, because I end up having to block people, women especially, who are convinced that women are the only victims and only victims. Well, we can be both victims and enablers at the same time. And as somebody who was in a DV relationship, I put my community in danger by enabling a man. And forgiving myself for that has been one of the hardest things I've ever done and necessary things I've ever done, and has motivated me to decenter men so that I never, ever feel responsible for putting other people in danger through my own pick-meism and unhealed trauma. Now, if you're new here, I am Melanie Hamlet. I'm a journalist, a storyteller, and lots of other things, and I have a Patreon, and that is how I'm paying my bills. The algorithms are not reliable at all. It's the Patreon people that you can thank right now for seeing this. Thank you, Patreon people. And I have a watch party coming up in a week. We're going to watch Fresh Kills. I'm doing possibly a book club over there. I do travel content. I do lives with amazing people that I'm going to be announcing soon, but I can't because I'm waiting for a schedule thing. So much stuff. Please go over there. And if you can't afford it, please join the free tier so at least you won't lose track of me and my work. Algorithm just let you forget I exist. Now, if you're new here, just a quick recap. Brian probably would not have been able to have unalived her so easily, at least, if the police had not just let him go. The police who laughed and joked with this man, this young couple, I have to do a longer video about their relationship. All the red flags, I will do a video about that. Because again, he was a homosexual. He had all the things, y'all. But they moved into a van together, basically so he could isolate her from her best friend and from her job, because she was starting to feel really good. She moved to Florida to be with this dude. He convinced her to do that. And then she's in Florida with his family where mama is jealous of her. So she ends up meeting a friend, has a BFF, is working a lot, and he's so jealous because he needs to be the center of her world. He's the sun, she's a planet. So she had wanted to move into her van, but he actually got on board with it. This is according to her best friend. She thought it was a stupid idea. Never was really into it until she started having too much fun with her friend and was neglecting him. So they go on a road trip, start having a lot of fights, especially because I lived in a van, I lived in a truck, which is like an oversized coffin. But these vans are tiny. I lived in a truck for 5 years. I could not imagine sharing one of those with somebody. Couples do it all the time. I don't know how they do it. I would not be able to do that. I can barely share an apartment with a man. And I love him, and he's not dangerous and psycho. He's amazing. But I need my space. Sharing a space this tiny where you have no bathroom, no anything with that absolutely accelerated this violence. Her being isolated with him so far away from home and being in such a stressful environment, like living in your van. Do not believe van life crap. It is a very hard way of life. It has its advantages. It can be beautiful, but it is very stressful. So they end up having a cops pulled him over because someone called the cops because he was slapping her. Anyway, this will be no surprise to anybody, but he got let go of. They paid for him to stay at a hotel room. She was the aggressor, and then she ended up dying, like not long after that. And by the way, I just found out today, reading her parents' interview, that Gabby was on the phone with her mom, and the only reason her mom got off the phone with her is because the police were there and she trusted the police. There's always more information about how I can't operate. And again, I'm gonna make my own video about the police, because as somebody who was put in more danger when I tried to go to the police, they absolutely need to be held accountable for how much they fail women, and especially Black women. Women of color in general, but Black and Indigenous women, which the Petitos have actually talked about because they learned a lot during this whole thing. And anyway, that's a whole video. This police officer is getting his own video soon. Now, if you haven't seen the documentary yet, one of the things, and this came out a while ago, but I forgot about it, was the letter that his mom sent to him. Now, she claims that she sent to it a different time. There was no date on it. She claims she sent this letter when they were having a hard, big, rough patch in their relationship. Part of me thinks that he left that letter in that little sack as like an F you to mom. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. Because why would you put that letter in the sack that's going to be found with the note to your parents, the note to Gabby, the note to the police, the note to the world, who millions of people are waiting to find out where you are and what you're doing. And before you yourself, you put mommy's letter in, like, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if there's something, they're definitely enmeshed, but maybe she abused him. Who knows? Sounds very interesting. There's something else that these parents also did in terms of enabling their son, is they let this man live at their house. Now, I don't have anything against that in this economy and in this housing crisis, but the dude didn't work. And according to people who knew him, he never wanted to. He literally graduated high school and was like just sleeping on people's couches because he just didn't want to do anything. Meanwhile, Gabby is out there working 50 hours a week at Taco Bell to save up for this trip. So this dude, like, I don't know if his parents had much money or not. They had enough to spend $25,000 to Wyoming to lawyer up as soon as he called them and said, what he did. They claim he didn't tell them exactly what we did. He said enough that they were like, whoop, we got to get a lawyer. Definitely not going to tell her parents. But this man didn't work. Occasional artwork online is the only proof that anything I've seen that he ever worked. How is he paying all these bills? I'm telling you. So many women let their son, and not just them, the dad let them too, okay? Just be clear here. But usually women, even single moms, will let these men move back in with them and not make them do anything. Again, I know that sometimes it's necessary because of housing crisis, but if the dude, when women move back in with their parents, they are usually expected to work and earn their keep. Men, nothing. They got mom doing their laundry, cooking for them, letting the girlfriend move in, and they still don't work. The girlfriend's working. What's he doing? Anyway, I'm just telling you that all the things, all signs point to him being enmeshed with his family, enabled by his family, and spoiled. Spoiled doesn't always mean monetarily. It means like literally just not making them have to grow up. And then as soon as he gets in a crisis, they shelter him. Now, some news sources will say like that they were close with Gabby, but but the documentary made it sound very clear that she was kind of scared of his mom. And anybody who knows that quiet violence of women, you know, a lot of women, without saying a word, it feels like they're punching you in the face. I know these women. I grew up around these women. I'm from the South. They're full of white women who are so angry and use very quiet violence to dominate spaces and put people in their place. I mean, if you know your history, white women also did just outright violence too. But I'm talking about the way that a woman, especially because the way we're conditioned, we may not be, but whoo boy, the silent violence, the violence with a smile or whatever form it takes, it feels Almost worse because they're smiling while doing it. Anyway, I'm projecting a lot here, clearly. But she was on Gabby's Pinterest board. Like, whatever. There's all these claims that, they were a happy family, but like, why was Gabby never at home? Why did the mom change the address to Gabby's address back to New York? This woman wanted her gone. Mom was like, what is happening? Her best friend was like, what? And the fact that this mother did nothing to help give Gabby's family any resolution or peace, protected her son until his dying breath, and even after he died, well, I don't think she was a fan of Gabby. Just saying. And a mother-in-law who is enmeshed with her son will always choose him over you, even if he literally murders you. There's multiple reports that he didn't have a job. I also said he didn't stand out for any particular achievement or activities. Just saying. For now, there's no proof that he had a full-time job, though he reportedly sold self-designed bookmarks and t-shirts. I don't know if this is a credible source, but according to this, they were last photographed outside their home in 2024, June, but I also saw other reports that they sold that house. So I don't know. I'm not looking into it. I don't care where they live. I just know they have done nothing to redeem themselves. And the parents, Gabby's parents, want nothing to do with it. And Gabby's parents sued them for making their lives so hard, and they won a settlement. They wired $25,000 to a lawyer in Wyoming as soon as Brian was calling them and basically asking for help. The mom acknowledged that the thought that Brian may have unalived Gabby, it probably went through my mind, but claimed that she was just concerned about her son. He will never convince me he didn't tell her I did it. He could have lied to her. But either way, they did nothing but make the investigation harder for literally everybody. And she blocked Gabby's mom. Gabby's mom was like, hey, have you heard from the kids? Hey. The mom blocked her. Gabby's parents have said at this point they don't want an apology from his parents. They don't want to, it doesn't help them. And if anything, they want them charged for something, which is actually, when I came away from that documentary being like, why are these people not being charged? How could, seems like they broke one, if not many laws and all the things that they did to cover up for their son. But no, they've never been charged with anything. And Gabby's parents have a problem with that. But no apology. According to transcripts from their civil trial, the dad said that Brian kept saying Gabby's gone. So if they knew she was dead. They may not have known that he did it to her. And in fact, they actually amended their lawsuit against Brian's parents. At one point, not only asking for damages for all the distress, they claimed that his parents not only knew about her unalived, but also knew the whereabouts of her body and did nothing to help them. These poor parents, what a nightmare to be on edge for that long, not having any resolution, It was also discovered that they lied. Initially gave the police the wrong date when reporting their son's disappearance. He disappeared a day before they claimed he did. Anyway, this family just everything they could have possibly done wrong, they did. Even Dog the Bounty Hunter was going thought these people were being ridiculous. Roberta called the police on him when he showed up at their place. Now I know that there were people flying down there to harass this family, and they were protesting outside their house. I can't find the screenshot. One of the neighbors got so this must have been very annoying for the neighbors to deal with all these people. I think one of the neighbors attacked one of the people, whatever. It sounds like a circus. But you know what? People were pissed. They were pissed that this family was doing nothing to help find their future daughter-in-law. And I don't know. Now they're just moved on, just living their own quiet, private life now, I guess. I just want to read you the letter that she wrote her son now, because it's creepy as hell, y'all. I just want you to remember, I will always love you. Hold on, I need my glasses. Here we go. And I know you will always love me, capital L. You are my boy. Nothing can make me stop loving you. Nothing will or could ever divide us. That is weird right there. Part of me thinks that maybe her and her husband don't like each other. There's some, this us against the world thing is weird. Y'all are a whole family of 4. Why are you talking like you're in a rom-com? No matter what we do or where we go or what we say, we will always love each other. If you're in jail, I will bake a cake with a file in it. If you need to dispose of a body, I will show up with a shovel and garbage bag. If you fly to the moon, I will be watching the skies for your re-entry. If you say you hate my guts, I'll get new guts. Ew! Oh my God. I didn't read that line before. Remember that love is a verb, not a noun. It's not a thing. It's not words. It is action. I'll do whatever illegal action for you, my baby boy. Watch people's actions to know if they love you, not their words like that silly girl you're dating that I'm jealous of. Watch her. Does she do for you? Would she get new guts? Therefore, I am certain that neither death nor life, nor angels nor the ruling spirits, nor things present nor things to come, nor powers from above, nor powers from below. Oh, God. Y'all, I wish people would stop believing in the devil. I swear, so many of our problems would end if people were not obsessed with this devil person. Sorry, if you believe in him, whatever. I swear to God, so much is this like fear of the devil is why people do like terrible things. Why did God create a devil? So he could look good? Like God's a nice guy and the devil's a jock. Anyway, sorry. We wonder where this comes from. Nothing in the entire created world could separate our love. Nothing, not even that little hoe you're dating. Neither hostile powers, nor messengers of heaven, nor monarchs on earth. What's wrong with you? Why are you talking like this? Nothing has the power to separate us. Romans, okay, extended version. Okay, did she? Okay, I guess you were quoting the Bible. Of course you were. Nothing can separate us. Not hatred, not hunger, not, well, I guess clearly homelessness doesn't, because you're enabling your little hobo schedule. Not threats, not even sin. Like your girlfriend, not the thinkable or unthinkable can get between us. Not time, not miles and miles and miles. Come home, sweet baby boy. Come home. Come on. Hitch that van and the little skank in it. Come to mommy. And this envelope containing the letter said, burn after reading. Now, Brian did not burn that after reading. Why do you think that is? Do you think there's a chance that he actually wanted that letter to be found? I do. He knew this was of an incriminating. You would never convince me he didn't know that was very incriminating. Why was that in his backpack? Of all the things, it was like all the most important things in his life. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he was just like, my mommy loves me, whatever. But I wouldn't be surprised. I'm telling y'all, do not think that these men will not unalive you too. So don't let them move in with you. Even your baby boy, your sweet, precious baby boy. He's probably an Enmeshment and a loser, an entitled king baby, and he will take your life. Please be careful. Now, I will address his other letter. Talking to Gabby, her family, that is so ridiculous and is such classic signs of a narcissist, and how these men think. I am telling you all, I'm going to do a whole video where I show all the red flags. They're all here. I mean, not that aren't more red flags, but this man has all of them, even literally the unaliving himself. And the way, even in his death, he is trying to blame her for her own death. Oh, he's a savior. He saved her. It was a mercy unaliving. He did it for her. Like, y'all, the way my ex literally out of his mouth blamed me for my own grape, because I made him drink so much because I was talking to men at a wedding. Whatever. Anyway, y'all, I'm actually thinking of showing you some of his text to Gabby alongside my ex's text to me, so you can see how these men talk before you end up engaged to them, because it's always the same. It is always the same. And also, before this woman started to make her very uncomfortable, she love bombed her. She embraced her. She would knit and she would make things for Gabby or live with them. All kinds of stuff. Y'all, I am telling you, a lot of these women want you to marry their sons only so they can have someone to bully. And also so someone will take care of their sons. Like, sometimes these women, these moms, want to offload their sons onto other women, to take care of them, because they know like somebody's got to take care of that baby boy when, she's dead. But, hold on, Moses, what do you want? He finally woke up. So they absolutely want the labor of another woman. but they will always be jealous of her. And I think the same reason a lot of parents subconsciously have children so they can bully someone, the same way a lot of men get married, not just for the social, capital of it all and the, free labor constantly, but also because they can have a live-in nerd. They can have someone under their roof, many someones if they procreate with her, that they can bully around and be the king of their own little castle, because they're definitely not a king out in the world, so they want to be a king of the castle, right? And women who are meshed with their sons love to finally be that mother-in-law because they're finally queen. They've got a bitch to serve them. They've got a woman to have power over. Maybe they get revenge on what their mother did to them. I don't know. Cycles of violence are interesting like that. The point is that, y'all, I talk a lot about men on my page in terms of how, deconstructing patriarchy and decentering men and stuff, and decentering women who center men. We have so much work to do, okay? Focus on the way that we enable men, the way we enable women who enable men, the way that we hate ourselves, the way that even just yesterday, I warned you, I didn't block you, but a woman came on my page and in the comments and said, yeah, I love what you have to say, la 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 la, but you scream all the time, you don't finish sentences, this is just was so cruel and mean. And usually I block women who do that, but they've commented 60 times, so I'm going to give them some grace once. But the way women treat me, the way you treat yourself, the way you treat other women, the way we have so much work to do, okay? So let's leave men alone, let them fix their own stuff, and focus on us. How do we stop playing patriarchy out inside our bodies through torturing ourselves to meet these standards, and being so violent towards ourselves, being violent towards other people, other women, especially, and anybody we have power over, especially systemically in society? How do we stop trying to make our daughters or whatever, any other women, go through the same hard things we did because we're jealous they may have a taste of freedom, which is why you need to watch that movie Fresh Kills by Jennifer Esposito, which we're going to do a watch party on in my Patreon, because that movie, oh my God, the way it addresses the violence of men and the women who uphold and enable the violence of men. Oh, I can't stop thinking about that movie. So please focus on hating patriarchy, the system, and you can hate some of the players in the system. Right? I'm never going to blame Gabby's murder on his mom. Okay? But she, like all the other spokes in the wheel, had a hand in it. And the dad did too, but I don't have any more information on the dad. That's why I'm not talking about him more. I'm not being harder on her. But I am saying, you know boy moms who are at least one, I am sure. And it's terrifying to watch the way they behave. And the way they are literally raising future king babies, birthing the future oppressor, who may actually oppress them too, but is going to oppress other women as for sure. Dad's responsible for that too. I can't control dad. Dad doesn't watch my videos. Women do. Let's work on us. Let's get going. We have a lot of work to do. And this is the perfect taste to show just how much. Let me know if you want the other videos, because I got a lot to say about a lot of people in that whole case. Some beautiful things too. Some really beautiful things. Beautiful takeaways. Like some of the stuff from the parents, her best friend, and what these people who have survived this tragedy are doing to give back to the world to make up for what was taken from them. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. And please join my Patreon. And let me know if you heard the comment song. Tiny little town comment song, tiny little town comment song. If you're new here, I do a comment song. And I show you cruel stuff. Look at all this stuff in a little house in the middle of nowhere in the middle of France. Tiny little house, love to carve birds and other stuff. Look at this birdhouse. Well, you can't see it yet. I'll show it in a second. And this old church. Look at this stuff, bird, and cat. Cat. Lots of stuff and heads. Look at these heads. Freaky-dicky heads. I have no idea what's happening here, but it's pretty weird and cool, I guess. Anyway, comment song if you're new here. Now is the time where you leave the comment. Just say hi or whatever. This is kind of the stuff that I do on Patreon, among other random stuff. That's a birdhouse, 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 birdhouse. And Moses a jerk, he never looks at the camera. Frogs, humping statue, and a bird looking out over the town, and more heads, 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 and other stuff behind them, and more heads. And a freaky dicky stuff. The comment song. Oh, another head. Anyway, if you like this, join my Patreon. There's lots of stuff like that over there and more. Et voila. Let me know if you heard the heads comment song.